So what are some ways that somebody who is watching right now or listening, they can cultivate that sense of wholeness or alignment?
Breath work, the guided meditations, visualization, the sound baths.
Yeah.
What I hope to achieve with this project down the road, the bigger vision, is to create a wave of hope and positivity. Good thoughts, positive thoughts, and they've shown numerous times that it actually lowers crime rates and violence. It has been shown. It actually can have a global impact.
How do you define life purpose?
It's when you feel so connected to the soul that you just flow with it. You know that you're following your path. You just know it inside. I get chills when I know, oh, something just happened. I know this is for a reason. It's on my path. And sometimes it's actually opposite. You sense, oh, there's some weird feeling inside.
Hey everyone, I'm your host, Anna Lawson. You are watching To Live with Purpose.
Hi friends, welcome back to Live with Purpose, a place where we share powerful tools to help you live more mindful and intentional life and live a life with true purpose and meaning. I'm so excited to have amazing guests today. She's a Grammy award-winning musician, entrepreneur, who has collaborated with icons like Stevie Wonder and Pavarotti and many, many others. Beyond her musical achievements, she's also creator of Biometric study, live music experiences that create coherence between our brain and our hearts. Really powerful stuff. So help me welcome Nathalie Bonin. Thank you so much for being here.
Anna. Thank you so much. That's a pleasure. Thank you.
Today on Live with Purpose, we are joined by an extraordinary artist whose work lives at the intersection of art, science, and wellness. Nathalie is a Grammy award-winning composer, internationally acclaimed violinist, and entrepreneur, also 2023 Screen Composer of the Year, a multidimensional force whose music has been heard around the world in productions like Bridgerton, Good Sam, and New Amsterdam. Originally on a pre-med path with a passion for holistic health and medicine, Nathalie ultimately chose the violin over medical career. But she never left her fascination with healing behind. Instead, she fused it into her artistry. Today, her cinematic soundscapes blend classical music, jazz, and world traditions with an emotional depth that invites listeners to reflection, connection, and transformation. As the founder of Kin Muse Productions, Nathalie continues to push boundaries in music and media. And through her work in the Biometric study, she's leading a team exploring how music, combined with emerging modalities, can influence biometric responses and actually create brain-heart coherence and amazing emotional balance and self-discovery. Nathalie embodies what it really means to live with purpose. She's an artist, a scientist at heart, and a visionary, redefining how creative expression can become a pathway to emotional balance and holistic well-being. You're a perfect guest for a show because you were on a pre-med path. You were accepted to a medical school.
Yes.
And then you decided to stick with violin because you played since you were 4 years old.
Yes.
So take us back to that moment when you decided not to take the medical path and stay with music. How did that happen?
Well, first of all, I was deeply in music until that point, and I had a bachelor degree already. So I was really going into music, but I had this doubt at some point because my fiance at the time was a doctor, and he was saving lives every day. So for me, it was like, why am I doing music? And it seems like there's something maybe more important that I could be contributing to the world. And that led me to go into med school. So I did all my pre-med studies, and it was a lot of study on top of continuing the performance. And when I finally heard I was accepted, then it was a major decision in front of me. I knew I couldn't do both, right? So I had to go away. I had to actually go to Italy. That's where I decided, because I just loved Italy and it was my dream to go to Italy. So I decided to figure out a way to tour for 3 months. And through my first computer, I sent out resumes and ended up doing a mini tour that paid for my trip. But it was also mostly about getting away from myself and from my thoughts, and also from my family and influencers, so that I would be clear of anybody else taking decisions or influencing me into a different path. And when I was in Italy, I got to play in these old churches that was just like, before America even was discovered. And I think that at that point, my soul knew I can't leave music. It was just too deep in me. And I figured, okay, maybe next life I can be maybe next life I can be a doctor, but this life I need to be a musician. So I came back from Italy and I said, okay, no to med school. I actually said no to the doctor as well. I flushed all of it. And I started again on the music path, but with a renewed, I would say, endeavor to discover, not just classical, but that's when I discovered world music. I started touring, I started exploring improvisation, jazz, and it just opened up a whole new world for me. And
it started a new journey.
It did. It started a new journey. I was already very much into martial arts, qigong, yoga. And I think part of the reason I didn't go to med school was also because I didn't feel medicine was where I wanted to go into. I wanted it to be more preventive and holistic. And I felt like the med school was very much into drugs and, prescription drugs and all of that. And
this more alternative way of
yes,
seeing the
I
holistic.
believed in the alternative way, and I didn't see that was going to be possible at the time. So thinking of that, I felt music was closer to my soul and my heart.
Music is also healing.
It is, right? And
as we show up now, we're going to touch up on biometric study in a little bit, but
Right.
absolutely has healing properties for brain and heart. Yeah.
So now it totally makes sense that I'm kind of going back to this.
Can you walk us a little bit through that coherence that music creates in brains and our hearts, and what you ultimately measure with your biometric studies?
So it's very, very new for us.
Interesting.
We know that it's based on certain scientific researches that have been done, and we all also know that frequencies can heal. They've discovered that there are certain low frequencies that actually kill cancer cells, for example. It's not at large, they're still studying it, and so you can't go to the hospital with that kind of treatment yet, but they are discovering these properties. And as we know, we are made of water, right? So they've already shown that different thought patterns, positive, negative, affect actually the water. When they put sensors on us, we can see it. And obviously music and even colors in art is also frequency. So thinking of how art, music can impact on our cells because we are made of water, and these frequencies influence these cells in our bodies, well, that's the new journey of how can we help people attain certain states that through yoga, breath work, we've instinctively felt, right? You always kind of feel a tingling or something when you do yoga or when you do a certain breath work.
It brings the system in homeostasis.
Right.
You feel calm and centered.
Right. And there has been some studies already that show that it brings certain heart coherence, because the way that you entrain your body through breath work, through these meditation, these modalities, these combination of music, art, to bring the system back down to the parasympathetic. And this has been shown to really be powerful. All these modalities, and combined with art, it just brings it to the next level.
More of that rest and digest alpha brains.
Yes.
Brain waves.
We are going to take a quick break. This is the science behind heart coherence, so let's take a look.
Classical music and heart coherence. Heart coherence is a state where your heart rhythm, breath, and nervous system are working in sync. When we're coherent, our heart rate variability, often called HRV, becomes smooth and ordered. This state is associated with calm focus, emotional balance, and better decision-making. Classical music can be a direct pathway into this state. Research shows that music with slow tempos, around 60 beats per minute, naturally encourages the body to slow down. Your breathing becomes deeper, your heart rhythm stabilizes, and your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and restore system, becomes dominant. A well-known study by Italian researcher Luciano Bernardi found that slow, melodic music reduced heart rate, blood pressure, and respiratory rate while increasing heart rhythm synchronization. In other words, the heart became more coherent simply by listening. What's fascinating is that classical music doesn't just relax us, it organizes us. The predictable structure, phrasing, and harmonic balance give the nervous system something safe and orderly to entrain to. your heart literally starts following the music's rhythm. So here's a simple practice. Put on a piece of classical music, breathe slowly, and let your heart match the rhythm. No effort, no fixing, just coherence. Sometimes living with purpose starts with letting your heart find its natural rhythm again.
What inspired you to start the biometric study?
I think it's also part of my background in pre-med, so that kind of creeped in. And during COVID, we had way too much time to think, right? So I researched on a lot of things, and I was thinking there must be a way to connect the audience to the art, to the performance. As a performer, every time I perform, I feel the audience. The room is different. There's always, we say it, there's the energy in the room, right? And sometimes it's very high energy and it feeds you back, and sometimes it's very low. You can feel it, you know? And then you have to respond. There's a dialogue that you instinctively as an artist tap into because we're sensitive, but it's not shown. We just kind of feel it. And I thought, how can we connect?
And measure it.
Yes, and not only measure it, co-create with it. How can we bring that to like that third, you know,
dimension of,
bringing together that magic that's happening. And whether we were going to say it may be bad energy that night because people don't feel so well,
maybe low frequency. It's like a low frequency.
Yeah, but we can't really say bad, because if it creates something, it means we are in synchronicity dealing with whatever the world is, but with hope, right? So we're creating something that's still beautiful, even if we might not be.
You're using it to transform into something better.
Yes. So the idea here, so we're envisioning a phase 3, obviously, with more performance and people being able to participate more actively. Instead of a study, it would be more of an experience where people would be plugged in, and we would create a visual based on the reaction, a physiological reaction of the audience. So that's our phase 3. We are experimenting right now because there's different devices. So for this one, we actually have developers coming from Boston, like Harvard teachers that created their own hardware and software, and they've worked on this for like almost 2 months right now for this study, to adapt their heart strap basically to calculate and capture the heart rate variability on a very, very sensitive level, like really next level.
So what's happening in the moment while you play, and the breath work, the changes that are happening.
So the breath work, the guided meditations, visualization, the sound bath we're going to be having, the movement, of course the music and live art. Not only from an artist, but people also, participants drawing flow drawing after a breath work, for example, and seeing how that affects their physiology. Emotive is one of our partners for this phase 2. So it's like a 14-channel EEG
so if somebody's
device.
interested in our audience watching or listening, can they jump into stage 3 or 4?
Yes,
they don't have to be from the beginning, the participants, right?
No.
Okay.
It's not like your university or anything like that. We're really opening up to the public.
Perfect.
A lot of the people from phase 1 are participating in phase 2 because they're curious now and they're part of it. But we have a lot of new people in phase 2, and we hope to open it up to even more participants for phase 3.
How incredible. So for someone who is maybe skeptical, they would like to try, but they are kind of, I don't know, what are they going to measure?
It sounds woohoo, right?
Yes, how would you encourage them? What can they expect at that first session? How to release the fear and just go for it?
Well, I think that's what I like about this concept that we're developing, is that it is based on science. It's not based on a specific religion or philosophy. And I've explored a lot of different practices, from Zen, Buddhism, Indian, Vedic, and I love everything that I'm discovering. But some people might not be willing to dive into certain practices because it's so attached to a certain philosophy or way of thought, way of thinking. And this is based on science. It's actually good for you, and when you try it out, you embark on a journey where you're actually just seeing what you're feeling.
Exactly. So you can see what you feel. Amazing. This is great. I love it. In our world full of distractions and our amygdala firing, constantly being in that fight or flight response. So what are some ways that somebody who is watching right now or listening, they can cultivate that sense of wholeness or alignment?
So, well, I have my favorite, playlist that I play for myself, and I think it's more about what resonates with you. Everybody is different, and I don't think there's one size fits all here, but I have for myself certain key exercises that for me work. For example, just a deep breath, 4 in, 8 out, or even 4 in, 12 out. That really helps me calm down, go back to the parasympathetic. I do it while I walk. I mean, walking has been something so powerful for me because your steps are your rhythm, right? So if I walk 4 steps, I inhale 4 steps, I exhale. I love to exhale 16 steps. Try it. It's really going to bring you to a floating state, even when you're active. So active meditation, you don't feel like you're wasting time because we're so busy. And if you're going somewhere, even walking to the grocery store, you can do it. So that's one of my tricks. The other one is alternate nostril. That really helps me before I practice or before I have a creative
Okay, let's do it quickly. We're just going to do one round.
Okay.
So for the audience, so you place your index finger and middle finger in the middle of your eyebrow center. You close off your right nostril. You first exhale through the left. And then you inhale through your left for the count of 5. You can count mentally. Inhale. Then you close your left, exhale through right. And then inhale through right. Exhale through left. This is an amazing exercise. It's called Nadi Shodhan Pranayam, or alternate nostril breathing, that actually balances your left and right hemispheres of the brain. It also works on pineal gland, on your sixth center, in the back of your head. So it's very powerful and super calming.
Yes, one of my favorite.
And how often do you do it?
I end up doing it at least once or twice a day, sometimes more if I have a lot of different creative blocks, but it's definitely one of my favorite
go-tos. It's unbelievable.
I mean, just 2 minutes really already changes your state.
It calms you down very profoundly. So walking, prolonged exhalation, alternate nostril, anything else, any other pranayama?
I mean, a simple one is just observing. For people that are just starting, I find that just observing the breath and the tiny pause between the change between the inhale and exhale to inhale, just that is a very powerful meditation because it focuses your mind on something. And sometimes I find that that's easier than just saying, don't think about anything, just meditate. And that's kind of hard.
That is hard because you just see your thoughts racing.
Right.
But in yogic science, they say that kumbhaka, that's how they call retention. We have internal and external. And that is the most important part of the breath, yogic, that pause.
Yes.
When you inhale, pause. When you exhale, pause. So it's super powerful.
Yes.
You perform aerial violin play. You played with Cirque du Soleil. You were spinning in air, playing violin, and tell us about that experience. How do you do that?
Well, first of all, it goes back to pre-violin. When I was 3, I'm gonna say something that's gonna cheat on my age, but so my first idol was Nadia Comaneci.
Oh, gymnast.
Yes. So my first dream before music was actually becoming a gymnast. Because of that, I wanted to become a gymnast, and I didn't make it because I was too tall at the time. So they just said I didn't fit the...
Oh, really? You were too tall for the gymnast? Oh, they are really short. That's true.
Yes. And they didn't want me to go to the club, the gymnast club, the provincial club. So I got stopped when I was 9 years old, and I was very sad. Very, very sad. So I kept on music, but because of that passion I had in me, I started dancing. I tried various things. And at one point I was like, I want to do martial arts. And my mom was a little scared. She didn't really want me to hurt myself. So when I was 17, I'm like, okay, I'm old enough. I'm not going to let her know. I'm just going to do it. So I took up Qigong and Kung Fu. And then I did a lot of yoga. I was actually doing, 6 classes of yoga, 3 classes of Kung Fu, 2 classes of Qigong every week. I was like, that was my discipline, and music on top of it.
Wow.
And it was, so I think that point really anchored me into the soul, my soul. I was very aware of the power of concentration.
And discipline.
And discipline.
And movement.
Yes. Coordination, movement, stamina. Because when I started, I was not fit at all because, again, they didn't want me to hurt my fingers and all of that. So I got exempted from a lot of the gym courses. And I was out of shape. So when I started martial arts, it was really painful.
That, if you say so.
I was really out of shape. I'm in better shape today than I was when I was 17. And that taught me so much, It just, that warrior spirit, not an offensive warrior, but a warrior spirit. Right?
To keep going no matter what.
Yeah.
And you incorporate that in your
aerial came back. I wanted to combine my first passion of gymnastics, and I thought, how can I do something with the violin that is in the air? So a friend of mine, famous actually, Geneviève Dorion-Coupal, who does a lot of the Cirque du Soleil choreography and direction, she put me in contact with one of her friends, and he became my coach. And after 6 months, I had my first performance on live television where I was, spinning in the air.
So you had to practice for half a year.
Oh, yeah.
Almost every day.
It was very painful.
Oh,
I never felt my abs so much in my life. Doing the plank in thin air with holding yourself with nothing. Yeah, I just had 2 wires in the harness. So we figured out a way in the harness where the straps were wide enough, with a bar, so I could play and my bow wasn't hitting the bar. So it was like a V shape. But I had to motorize my movement through my legs and my abs because my arms couldn't pull me up. I was playing. So it was a lot of work. I did it in Vegas, in India, in France. I did it many places for big corporate events. Yeah.
Really impressive.
Even the All-Star Game, the NHL All-Star Game, when it was in Montreal, that was one of the major events I did it too. It was broadcasted in 106 countries.
Were there any specific beliefs or limiting beliefs or a specific mindset that you had to let go of in order to be who you are now?
The imposter syndrome is it's always lurking because even now that I'm doing this study, there's that little voice that can say, oh, who do you think you are to do this? Why would you be able to do something like that? And I've decided that it's just part of my mission. It's part of my story. It all makes sense. Something led me to combine music, breathwork, science, and healing, and it's just part of my story. So I'm letting go of the identity limitations that maybe I've heard, from influences of people that might not believe that they are capable of doing that. And sometimes we get influenced by people who don't believe in themselves, and that makes us doubt. And I'm glad that I'm kind of letting go of that and choosing my friends very, very carefully. I think that's really important, is to choose the environment that you are in. I've cleaned up a lot because that can really get you in a state that is just not productive and not helping you fulfill your purpose because you're stuck with other people's limitations. Yeah.
So be careful who you spend time with.
Yeah, exactly. You will be drawn to their energy.
So you help through your music people reconnect with themselves. So how does that look like in everyday life? If somebody feels disconnected from their true place, or they don't feel expressed in what they do, how does your music make them feel aligned and maybe discover their true self? Is it a process?
The first few times you just don't feel very confident or competent at doing it. But what I've noticed is, for example, the Harmonize and Heal that I do with Robert Bahidri, now we have a few participants that come back every time, and they're sharing that time flies a lot faster. It's as if they get to that flow state where time stops, right? It just disappears.
You don't feel time passing.
You don't feel time, and it seems like they get to that flow state in such a quick time after 3-4 experiences that time, like they wake up from it, even though it's 21 minutes, they're like, 21 minutes? It felt like 2 minutes, you know, and they feel the state profoundly. So it's really entrainment. I think it's just entrainment. It doesn't take years, you know. These people have been doing it for 3-4 times. They already see a huge difference. And that's what I hope to achieve with this project down the road. The bigger vision is to create a wave of hope and positivity through people getting together, getting connected with the artist, with the performer, but also with themselves as part of the audience, sharing this magical moment, co-creating something magical because their bodies react to it. And that creates a wave of health and of just a vision of hope. And
that
it
collective experience of everyone.
And you know, they've done these experiences where people gather with, you know, prayers or good thoughts, positive thoughts, and they've shown numerous times that it actually lowers crime rates and violence. It has been shown. So imagine if we create large events like this that create waves of hope and good vibes, you know, we actually can have a global impact.
Tell us, what exciting events do you have or projects do you have coming up? What are you working on?
So the part of this next transition phase, I would say, is being part of the UNESCO Week of Sound, which is going to happen in the spring. The date is still to be determined, but somewhere end of April is the most likely. And we will showcase this study phase 2, as well as create a bit of a workshop experience where people can participate. So it will be kind of in between towards phase 3, and we're really excited to be able to welcome more participants to experience it.
And then just for the end, I have 2 more questions. How do you define life purpose? What would you say?
Oh gosh, it's when you feel so connected to the soul that you just flow with it. You know that you're following your path. You just know it inside.
It just feels good.
It
You're
just
not
feels
thinking,
good.
you're feeling it.
And I think there's certain indications. For me, I get chills. I get chills when I know, oh, something just happened. I know this is for a reason. It's on my path. Somebody told me something, or I met someone, or something I read, and it's so connected to my soul's purpose that, oh, I know I'm on the right path, you know. And sometimes it's actually opposite. You sense, oh, there's some weird feeling inside, and oh, I know that's not good for me. So listening to that
intuition,
inner voice. And I love the way that Spielberg says, listen to the whispers. That's how I got to LA, really. I was from Montreal. I came for the American Film Market. I went out just because I just needed a breath, sat down on a beach, and somehow I heard this whisper say, you're going to come to LA. And it just did not make any sense. I didn't know anybody here, but it was so powerful, and I decided to listen to it. And here I am, you know, 10 years later.
Wonderful. That is so wonderful. If you could send a message that every person in the entire world receives, what would it say?
Love yourself.
Yes, we do need more of love. The world needs it. So love yourself and love the people around you. And love is really healing. It's a healing frequency.
Yes,
it really is. So when you work with these artists like Stevie Wonder or Pavarotti, did you manifest that or somehow ask for it, or universe just sent it to you?
Honestly, like Stevie Wonder, I did not ever imagine I would have the chance to play with him, like Pavarotti, or it just happened in a way that was kind of meant to be, but I didn't have to ask for it. It just happened. And I feel like that's because I was very connected to my journey at that point. I feel like that wasn't the case all my life. I kind of disconnected from the energy at some point, I could tell. But when I was very connected, these things happen. They just click because you're in that right place, you're following your heart, and you know you're doing the right thing for you and the people around you at that moment. So I guess it was manifesting. I was just not really aware of it.
No, this is true. This is so true. When you do something that you are meant to do, that is your frequency, that you will experience miracles in your life. Like meetings that you're supposed to go to that you didn't want to go to will just get canceled for no reason. Like things will just fall into place. You're healing the world in many different ways, through music and biometric studies. So I just wish you all the best.
Thank you.
We hope that you guys get all the machinery so you can measure
Yes.
measure the invisible.
Yes,
So,
yes.
and make it visible.
Uh-huh.
So we need more of that. It's such an honor to
Thank
have
you,
here
Anna.
today.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
being
much.
here. There is a quick segment that explains a little bit what we mean when we say life purpose. So let's take a look. When we say living in alignment with your true purpose, we mean that feeling of being fully alive. You know that feeling when you were a child and when you were completely absorbed in something you really loved, when time didn't exist, when your whole heart was in that moment and you felt free, expressive, and completely yourself. Science calls this harmonious passion, a deep love for what you do that gives you meaning, connection, and a sense of continual growth. So it's not just about chasing daily excitement and pleasures and shopping and getting that dopamine hit from that. It's about discovering the activities that make you feel whole and truly happy, the things that make you lose track of time and make you feel alive. So that's what we mean when we say live with purpose. So to follow that thread that makes your life feel rich, expressive, and deeply fulfilled. So make sure that tune in every day and be aware of when you feel really happy, really joyful, and do more of that makes you feel happy and whole. Thank you so much for being here today. We're so grateful for you, and we'll see you next time.